come through here on Sundays.
I think it's Ricky. He's
It
coming to
probably
surprise you
is
in
With his
Ricky.
person.
long hair,
Yeah.
he's got Eric the Red's, ponytail and he was
Hello and
lying when he
welcome.
saw him. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, hello and welcome to and now for something completely machinima, the podcast about machinima and virtual production and other related technologies. I'm here with Ricky on the motorcycle you can hear outside, as well as my co-hosts Damian Valentine and Tracy Harwood. How are you
Hello.
guys?
Oh, great. Thank you. And you?
Yeah.
I'm great. So we are going to Damien, you've got a film for us to discuss this week, and this week, and it is Top Gun related. Tell us about it.
It's no secret I really enjoyed Top Gun Maverick last year, and I actually last year also chose a Top Gun video for us to look at, and it recreated the opening sequence on an aircraft carrier with all the jets coming and landing and taking off, and that one was made in a flight simulator, and I was really impressed by how accurate they managed to make it. Um, Especially when the film wasn't actually available for home release yet. They had to go to the cinema to watch it and then memorize it, but they got it spot on. Um, and then, of course, come to now, and I was looking for what to pick, and I came across another recreation of that opening sequence, except this time it's made with Second Life, and I was quite surprised because previously it makes sense that a flight simulator would be the perfect engine to recreate that sequence, and it did. As I said, it did it perfectly. So I was really curious how they managed to pull it off in Second Life. So I watched it and I thought this is also pretty close. I mean, there's some additions like the dancing girls, which are not the dancing girls are not in the real film. Um, but I'm assuming that's something in the bills that they used to make this in Second Life. But it is still very close to what the actual film does, and this is Second Life we're talking about, which isn't a flight simulator. It doesn't have good vehicle controls or any of the other stuff you think you would need to make a video like this. And I thought, I know I've done a Top Gun video before, but I'm choosing another one because I was really impressed by the skill that went into making this and making it so close to the actual film. So that's my pick for this month. What do you guys think?
So
Shall I?
basically, you
Go
thought,
on.
well, I've already picked a Top Gun film, but I want more jiggle. So success, you found it.
I did. It's the
There's
one thing
there's
that the real film was missing was the dancing girls on the aircraft
there's
carrier.
yeah the physics of the jets
Yes.
is it is impressive. Yes, yes. Um, I've not seen the film, but I feel like I've seen the. I mean, I've not seen the Top Gun
Oh,
Maverick,
no, you can't say
not yet.
that.
No, I haven't seen it yet. It's in my. It just now came to streaming. I think on Amazon, so it's in the queue. But I've seen. Obviously, I watched the recreation of yours, which I feel like that opening scene, if that's what it is, probably over the opening credits or something early in the movie,
Yeah.
is it feels very familiar to me. So I feel like it's in some ways an homage to that. There was a similar set of scenes and opening for the original Top Gun.
Yeah, it
Am I right
was.
about that?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's first it had the original had the jets of the time
Mm-hmm.
and it had the same music, and obviously they wanted to recreate that
To
feeling in the
modernize it.
new one,
Right. Right.
and it works very well in both films.
Does not having seen Top Gun Maverick, I have to ask, does Top Gun Maverick have more jiggle than the original Top Gun?
um, I don't want to spoil it for you because you haven't seen it yet. I don't want to give
Yeah.
you any spoilers, so
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I've worked in Second Life for machinima purposes, and it's technically a challenge. It's a technically challenging environment to get, like you said, Damien, the types of movements that are done here with the planes and all that are I don't know, it's not a trivial thing to do, for sure. It does take a lot of work, a lot of patience, and especially since you're not dealing in any kind of environment where you can script or pre-record things and then get them to replay exactly the same way. It's all kind of live, right? You know, I mean, I guess there's some things that can be animated that'll be repeatable, but with larger movements like this with the jets and stuff, I have to think that there was multiplayer involvement to get it done and things like that. So yeah, it's impressive to you don't see a whole lot of attempts at precision. By that I mean like the precision required to recreate some other scene, you know.
Yeah.
It's more of kind of leaning into the way that things work in Second Life. That's typically that's what I would call the typical Second Life movements that you would see is stuff that the engine does well on its own naturally. And this, I would imagine, the person probably had to kind of push against what the engine wanted to do naturally to get some of these things to happen. And that's pretty impressive. I mean, that is an old school machinima technique for sure. You know, that's originally what it was, is getting the environment to do something that it doesn't necessarily want to do on its own. So yeah, pretty interesting. It was hard not to be distracted by the planes,
Right.
the maneuvers of things. But thank you for picking this, Damien.
Yeah, I do admire that skill of taking a game engine and doing something that it's not designed for. The previous one, I said it's a flight simulator. That's the perfect choice for it. But doing it Second Life, it takes a lot of skill to be able to pull it off so well, I thought.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want me? Have you got
Yeah,
anything
your
to say,
turn now.
Phil? Yeah. Well, I was going to say, is it Godiva or Godiva, the person that created this? Godiva, I think. However, from what I can gather, it's the third
Godiva,
biggest,
yeah.
the third big project that she's done. And you're right, Phil. It was a massive community endeavor, and as far as I understand it, it was recorded on what they call the Gulf of Tonkin sim, which apparently.
Yeah, just to interject, it looked to me, I didn't see any evidence that, like, one way to get some of these larger scale scenes done. Come on, Ricky. Can you guys hear that where you are?
No,
Holy
not
cow.
at all.
You can't hear it, so now I just look like a complete idiot. So to get larger scale scenes like that done, one technique is, well, let's layer it. You know, we'll assemble this in After Effects or in our video editor or whatever, and we'll composite it together. I didn't see anything that made me think, oh, that's composited. This feels like that every shot was taken on the sim, which means there's a lot of personnel
Yes,
that were involved at once here.
absolutely.
And that's, wow, that's
Very-
really admirable. Like that's hard.
That's very impressive, I think.
Yeah.
But it turns, according to what I've read here, it says the Gulf of Tonkin sim is the home of the 7th Fleet. So God knows who's put the aircraft carrier in there and, you know, recreated that, because I thought that was amazingly well done as a sim in its own right. So obviously, you know, the sets are you know, the IP of whoever, and the avatars are the IP of the individuals that have kind of logged in. But there's loads. I mean, I don't know how many characters there would have been on the on that you know, in there. There must have, I'm just trying to think, there must have been at least 10 of them, at least.
Yeah, that would be my guess too, 10 to 12.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Not including your camera person either.
Exactly.
Maybe multiple camera people. So yeah, pretty neat.
But like you guys, the bit that kind of made me smile was the, you know, the hypersexualized female representations wearing these kind of tight bodysuits. which, you know, is that an homage to the original Maverick? I don't think so, but it's an interesting approach. I think. Very interesting approach. But what impressed me with it was the editing. Because you know how I do the sort of play it side by side with the original? Well, I found somebody that's cut the opening few scenes from the Maverick movie and played it side by side. And I tell you what, it's pretty spot on, even down to the color of the sky.
The color was really well done.
Absolutely brilliant. But also the scene choices, the key scene choices were pretty much there in timing to the music. So where the plane comes into land and hooks on whatever the line is, bob on. The bit where the flaps or whatever that flap thing is that comes up, bang on, same timing as with the original movie. The bit that was slightly different was obviously the dancing and the jiggling around and what have you. But that was that massively distracting a little. Some of those representations.
I made more of it than it was.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you did really. I think some of it just pushes it a little bit in a way that is probably, I don't know. I'm for that very reason, I'm not a great Second Life fan, if I'm honest. Neither am I a Sims fan for the same kind of reason. But I have to say, the editing here was very good, and the way that it was kind of reenacted and the choices made at the points where they decided not to follow the original film, also very well done. Also, somebody with a great sense of humor, some fabulous reference shots in there, but showing something a little bit different. And I thought they probably, in the process of making this, learned quite a lot, as we commented on before, from the pros, having put this together with all the cuts that they were making and all the the camera directions and all the choices that they made. You could see that they were enjoying putting this thing together, but with this kind of unique Second Lifeness on top of it as well. And I suppose really the only thing I'd say about the genderized sort of side of it is actually quite nice to see a female representation on something like a Navy aircraft carrier, even though I can be critical about it as well. But I think overall this is brilliantly well done for the whole team involved in this, Godiva and whoever else was involved with it. Some of whom, when I was looking at the list, and folks that I recognised from Chantal Harvey's Machinima Mondays group. They meet up there as well. So there was a whole team of folks that are regular Machinima creators using Second Life as their platform of choice.
That group is very active, aren't they?
Yeah, really impressed. I think they did really nice job. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Damien, for sharing that one with us. It was a different take on the whole Maverick thing.
Well, I hope you both enjoy the real film as well when you get around to watching
it. I've seen it. I loved it.
Oh, good. Now, Phil, in that case, I hope you enjoy it when you see it.
I'm sure I will. Yeah. I've heard lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is this pick, and that will wrap it up for us today. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, Tracy, Damien, Ricky. We miss you. We'll see you soon, and have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.